Every record has a backstory, but some come with criminal charges. Drugs, abuse, gambling, fraud. This is where Hall of Famers, Heisman winners, and billionaires fall. Some were erased, some returned. Most were protected. Barrett Robbins vanished before the Super Bowl. Barrett Robbins was the Raiders' Pro Bowl center and team leader. But the night before Super Bowl 37 in 2003, he disappeared. Hours later, he was found disoriented in Tijuana, claiming he was celebrating victory early. In reality, he was in the middle of a bipolar episode. The Raiders lost badly to the Buccaneers. Robbins was later diagnosed with bipolar disorder. His condition had gone untreated for years. He never played again. In the years after, he was arrested multiple times for assault and battery. The NFL had no mental health protocol back then. Robbins became a symbol of neglect, proof that the league could recognize concussions but not breakdowns. Percy Harvin. Smoke before games just to function. Percy Harvin was electric. Speed, explosiveness, touchdowns. But behind the highlights, he battled chronic anxiety and migraines so severe he said marijuana was the only thing that calmed him. In interviews, Harvin admitted he smoked before nearly every game. He clashed with coaches, fought teammates, and missed time due to illness. The truth was deeper. His mind was eating him alive. Despite a Super Bowl win with Seattle, his career faded fast. The NFL had no real mental health support. Harvin's honesty came years later after retirement. He didn't just play against defenders, he played against himself. And the league barely noticed. Martavis Bryant, a star undone by repeated drug suspensions. Martavis Bryant looked like the next Randy Moss, 6'4", blazing speed, touchdown machine. But from 2015 onward, his career spiraled. He was suspended multiple times for violating the NFL's substance abuse policy, mainly for marijuana. Each time he returned, the talent flashed again, then vanished. The Steelers traded him, the Raiders released him. He got banned indefinitely in 2018. By the time he was reinstated, the league had moved on. Bryant's story mirrored Josh Gordon's: addiction, relapse, and wasted potential. The NFL changed its marijuana rules years later, but too late for players like him. His career became another what if, lost to policy and pain. Travis Henry. 11 kids and a life that crashed under debt and drugs. Travis Henry was a Pro Bowl running back with power and promise. But his personal life turned chaotic. He fathered 11 children with 10 different women and couldn't keep up with child support. In 2008, he was arrested for financing a multi-kilogram cocaine operation. He was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison. Henry later said he turned to dealing because of financial pressure. Once a star with the Bills and Titans, he became a cautionary tale about money, fame, and collapse. The NFL gave him millions. The streets took the rest. Travis Henry's fall showed that running the ball was easy. Running from consequences wasn't. Sam Hurd, NFL receiver by day, cocaine trafficker by night. Sam Hurd played for the Cowboys and Bears, a special teams ace with a quiet image. But in 2011, he was caught in an undercover sting trying to buy massive amounts of cocaine and marijuana for distribution. Agents said he bragged about moving kilos across the Midwest. The deal was caught on tape. He faced life in prison but got 15 years. Teammates were stunned. Hurd was clean-cut, polite, and professional. But behind that mask was a double life. The NFL distanced itself instantly. Hurd's name vanished from broadcasts. He went from receiver to felon in one meeting. The scandal exposed just how deep temptation runs in football's shadow. Art Schlichter gambled his way out of the NFL and into prison. R.E.M. Christian was a first-round pick in 1982, set to be the Colts' next franchise quarterback. But behind the scenes, he had a dangerous secret, a gambling addiction that spiraled into fraud. He bet on everything: college games, pro games, even his own team. The NFL suspended him in his rookie year. He was reinstated, then banned again. After football, his life got worse. Schlichter ran scams, stole money, and wrote bad checks. He served multiple prison sentences. In 2011, he was arrested again for defrauding people in a ticket scheme. His addiction cost him everything. Schlichter wasn't just a failed QB, he became a case study in self-destruction. Clinton Portis faked medical bills, defrauded the league. Clinton Portis was a two-time Pro Bowler with over 9,000 rushing yards. But after retirement, he ran out of money fast. In 2020, the Department of Justice charged him and other former players with defrauding the NFL's health reimbursement plan. They submitted fake invoices, knee braces, medical gear, treatments that never happened. Portis alone stole nearly $100,000. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 6 months in prison. Fans were stunned. The NFL called it insurance fraud. Portis called it desperation. Once a franchise star in Denver and Washington, he ended up in court over paperwork lies. The game ended. The debts didn't. Terrence Williams, caught in a $5 million NFL fraud scheme. Terrence Williams played wide receiver for the Cowboys, but in 2021, his name hit headlines for a different reason. He was charged in a massive healthcare scam targeting the NFL's retired players plan. The fraud involved over $5 million in fake claims for medical equipment. Williams was one of more than a dozen players charged. He allegedly submitted bills for treatments he never received. The story made national news. Fans saw highlight reels. Prosecutors saw federal crimes. Williams went from catching touchdowns to dodging indictments. His legacy was erased in paperwork. The numbers never lied, but the invoices did. Eugene Robinson won an award, then bought a prostitute the same night. The night before Super Bowl 33, Eugene Robinson received the league's Bart Starr Award for character and leadership. Hours later, he was arrested for soliciting a prostitute in Miami. The timing couldn't have been worse. He played the next day, got torched in coverage, and the Falcons lost to the Broncos. The scandal humiliated the team. Robinson returned the award, apologized, and never lived it down. One moment of weakness erased years of reputation. He wasn't violent, didn't steal, but the hypocrisy crushed him. The NFL preaches character. That night, Robinson became the cautionary tale. Even leaders can break under pressure. Michael Irvin. Cocaine, arrests, and protection from the Cowboys. Michael Irvin was a Hall of Fame receiver and cornerstone of the Cowboys' 1990s dynasty. But off the field, his life was chaos. In 1996, police found him in a hotel room with cocaine, marijuana, and strippers just days before his birthday, and weeks before training camp. He was arrested multiple times for drugs and assault. Yet the Cowboys stood by him. Teammates covered for him. The league handed him a 5-game suspension, but his star power protected his career. Irvin later became a broadcaster, embraced redemption, and stayed in the spotlight. But for years, talent insulated him from consequences. The NFL didn't look away. It looked the other direction. Eric Wright. Drugs, rape allegations, and a fraudulent injury claim. Eric Wright was a first-round pick in 1981 and part of the 49ers' legendary defense. But before his pro career began, he was accused of drugging and sexually assaulting 2 women at USC. Charges were dropped due to lack of evidence, but the incident haunted him. Years later, after a torn Achilles ended his season, he submitted false medical reports to continue collecting injury benefits. The league eventually caught on. Wright retired quietly, but the scandals never fully disappeared. He was part of Super Bowl teams, but his name stayed linked to deceit. In a franchise built on class, Wright's story was a dark crack in the foundation. Darren Sharper. From Pro Bowler to convicted serial rapist. Darren Sharper was a 5-time Pro Bowl safety and Super Bowl champion. He worked as an analyst after retirement. But in 2014, his life unraveled. Multiple women accused him of drugging and raping them in different states. Investigators found a disturbing pattern. He spiked drinks, waited, then assaulted victims. Over time, more stories came out. In 2016, he was sentenced to 18 years in federal prison. Sharper pled guilty to crimes in 4 states. He became one of the most shocking criminals in NFL history. The league erased his presence. His name vanished from broadcasts. But the damage was permanent. A star turned predator. His fall was complete. Ray Lewis, double homicide, plea deal, and silence. In 2000, after a Super Bowl party in Atlanta, 2 men were stabbed to death. Ravens linebacker Ray Lewis was at the scene. Blood was found in his limo. He and 2 friends were charged with murder. Lewis cut a deal, pleaded guilty to obstruction of justice, testified against his companions, and avoided jail time. He paid a settlement to the victims' families. The league fined him $250,000. He went on to win 2 Super Bowls and a Super Bowl MVP. But the question always lingered. What really happened that night? Ray Lewis never fully answered. His career recovered. The truth never did. Sean Taylor, robbery gone wrong, ended a rising star. Sean Taylor was a generational safety for Washington. Hard-hitting, fearless, and finally maturing into a leader. In 2007, he was recovering from an injury, home with his family, when burglars broke into his house. They didn't expect him there. Taylor confronted them and was shot in the leg, severing his femoral artery. He died the next day. The NFL was stunned. Taylor was just 24. Investigations revealed the attack was a robbery gone wrong, planned by teams who knew the house. The tragedy led to tributes, rule changes, and heartbreak. Sean Taylor didn't die from scandal. He died from someone else's chaos. And the league never forgot. Washington Commanders. Abuse, NDAs, and a toxic legacy. Roofing Washington over 2 decades, the Washington Commanders, formerly the Redskins, were run by Daniel Snyder. Behind closed doors, the workplace was toxic. Dozens of women alleged sexual harassment, verbal abuse, and intimidation. Executives sent lewd emails. Some employees were paid to stay silent with NDAs. Congress got involved. The NFL launched multiple investigations. Fines were issued, $10 million in 2021. Snyder denied wrongdoing, but eventually sold the team in 2023 under pressure. Fans celebrated his exit, but the scandal ran deep. This wasn't just mismanagement, it was rot at the top. Washington didn't just lose games, it lost integrity, year after year, under a shield of silence. Jerry Richardson, owner forced out for workplace misconduct. Jerry Richardson built the Carolina Panthers from scratch. He was the team's founder and longtime owner, but in 2017, reports surfaced of workplace misconduct, sexual harassment, racist comments, and hush money paid to employees. The NFL launched an investigation. Within months, Richardson announced he would sell the team. The league fined him $2.75 million, but no full report was ever released. Richardson faded into retirement with minimal consequence. The Panthers got a new owner. The scandal vanished, but many saw the message clearly. If you own the team, you leave on your own terms, even after years of unacceptable behavior. Deshaun Watson, over 20 lawsuits, yet still signed a $230 million deal. In 2021, Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson was accused by over 20 women of sexual misconduct during massage sessions. The allegations range from inappropriate behavior to assault. Civil lawsuits piled up. The NFL investigated. Watson sat out a season, then was traded to the Browns, who gave him a fully guaranteed $230 million contract. Fans and media exploded with backlash. He was suspended 11 games and fined $5 million, but he never faced criminal charges. Watson returned to the field, but not to forgiveness. The scandal didn't just follow him, it redefined him. He went from rising star to a face of controversy overnight.